Hi, and welcome to My Stampin' Blog. My name is Will, and I want to show you one of the new features that we've added to the site. It's called the Supply List Builder. Under Tools, you'll see a new option called Supply List Builder. Let's click on that. Now when you get to this page, you'll see this little pop-up that asks you, what would you like to do? Now there's a couple options. You can create a new supply list, or show the one you worked on last. Say that last night you left off, didn't quite finish it, and you want to come back to it. You can click on Show Last Edited, and it will load up the last one you worked on. View All Supply Lists will bring you to your profile page, and it will list all of the supply lists that you've ever built. So for this example, let's click on New Supply List. Now the first thing we want to do is give it a title. Let's call this one A Little Something Bundle. And for a subtitle, let's call it Bonus Project Number 1. I'd like to thank my mom, Glenda Calkins, because I'm copying her supply list, and I'm using her account. Down here is our instruction box. So the first thing we want to do is put an image at the top. So let's click the center icon because we want the image to be centered. We'll come up here and click on this Insert Image button. Now that'll open a pop-up. Since this is a new supply list, we currently don't have any images to choose from. So we come down here to this Upload Image button and click on that. That will open a file browser that will let you upload pictures from your own computer. So for this example, we're going to use these 5. So we will select them and click Open. Now the first picture we want to add is this bonus number 1, a little something. So we'll make a new line and we'll give it some sort of subtext. So in this case, we will call it Square Pillow Box Pouch with 3 note cards and envelopes. And we want this to be bold, so we'll click on bold. Now, another feature about this editor is this little ABC button. If we click on that, we can enable Scan as you type. And what that will do is if it sees any words that it thinks are misspelled, it will underline them and allow you to fix them. So if we come down here to note cards and get rid of that space, we'll see that it's underlined it. If we right click on it, we'll see its list of suggestions. Up here, we can click on Note Space Cards, and it will fix it. So that's good. Let's make a new line and add yet another picture. Let's add the note card pouch. Let's make a new line, and we'll put some subtext under this too. We'll call it Square Pillow Box Pouch. Now let's add some instructions. Let's make a new line. We don't want this to be centered, so let's click the left button. And we also don't want it to be bold, so we'll deselect that. Now for the instructions, those are kind of lengthy, so I'm going to actually copy and paste those in. So we can see we have a separate line for each instruction. That's kind of nice, but I think we can do better. Let's number them. So I'll select them, come up here to this numbered list button, and click on that. Now we have a numbered list of instructions. Cool. So let's see what we've gotten so far. Let's scroll up and click on Save Changes. I'd recommend saving often. Now once you've saved changes for the first time, we now have a PDF that we can preview. So if we click on that, we can see what we've gotten so far. That looks good, but we're 2 lines over being able to fit this to one page, and I'd really like to be able to fit it to one page. Now, instead of making the text smaller, which could make it harder for some people to read, I think we can make this little secondary picture a little bit smaller. So we'll go back to our editor, double click on the image we want to change, and that will give us an Image Properties dialog box. We'll change the height for this to 200. Save our changes and see what we've gotten. That looks good. Now everything fits to a single page. But say I have another set of instructions I want to add. Let's make a couple new lines down here. And to make sure that the second set of instructions start on its own page, we're going to come up here and click on this Insert Page Break. Now you'll see this horizontal bar. That means everything below it will start on a new page. So for this page, we want to try to add some images side by side. So we'll come up here and we'll add the old olive note card. That's good. So we're going to try to fit a few more side by side. So let's add a couple spaces after it so that we can pad it out a little bit. We'll come up here to Insert Image. And now let's add the crushed curry note card. Cool. Now let's add a couple more spaces. And we'll add a third image. Let's add this Tangerine Tango. Awesome. Let's create a new line and we'll call this Note Cards and Envelopes. Now let's add some instructions. We'll create a new line. We'll align it to the left and turn bold off. I'll paste in my second set of instructions. We also want these to be numbered, so I'll highlight those and come up here and click on Numbered List. Now, you can also do a bulleted list if you prefer. See, we've got some spelling mistakes. I'll go through and fix those. Cool. Now let's go back up and save our changes. Let's see what we've got. There's our first page. And here's our second page we created. Cool. We got everything to fit. But what's a supply list if we can't add the products that were used? So let's go back to the builder. We'll see this Products tab right here. Let's click on that. Now the search works just like when you're building a showcase, but you'll see the sidebar here. Say you're building a supply list that uses the weekly deals. You could come down here and click on Weekly Deals, and it will automatically populate the products. Keep in mind that if you choose one of these live showcase options, that it will be a read-only list. You will not be able to change or reorder the products. If you want to customize things yourself, you want to use this Let Me Choose button, which is what we're going to use today. So, the first thing we're going to add is Crumb Cake Note Cards. Cool. For the rest of them, I happen to have the catalog number in front of me, so I'm going to speed things up by using that. Okay, I think we've added everything we need. Just like when you're building a showcase, you can also reorder or remove any of the products. So let's go back up and save our changes. So there's our 2 pages of instructions, and now on the last page, we have our list of products. Very cool. Now if we were to click on one of these products, it'll bring us to the Stampin' Up! Store, and we can see that we're shopping with Glenda Calkins. Now that we have the supply list built, let's add a layer of protection. We can add a document password. Therefore, we can provide exclusive content to people who order from us or are in a specific club or whatever reason you can think of. If you need a password, you can enter that here. Another thing you can do is you can disable copying and pasting. Basically what that means is inside of your PDF document, people will not be able to highlight text and copy it. In an extra layer of security, you can even prevent people from being able to print your document. That makes it read only. They would be able to view the document, however, they would not be able to copy or print it. Keep in mind that this includes you. Down here under the product layout section, we can pick different layouts for the products. Right now we have a bullet list. I like that because it's more compact and saves space. You can do a similar list that instead of bullet points includes images by choosing this option. Or you can keep the old format where the products are tiled left and right and they wrap. Down here, you can choose to show or hide the catalog number or show or hide the product price. The new page after instructions option will create a new page between your instructions and the products. So say your instructions only run to about half the page. Instead of that other half being populated with products, when this option is selected, it will instead create a brand new page to keep the products separate from your instructions. So if we save our changes and look at our PDF, we now see that a document password is needed. So if we type that in, we will gain access to our document. Now, if we come down here to the print button, we can see that clicking on it does nothing. And that's because we chose to disable printing. So say that we try to highlight some text and copy it. There's no copy option. Well, what if we try the shortcut, Control C? No luck there either. We cannot copy the text. And we can see that we picked our different product layout, so that includes images. Cool. Let's go back to our builder. Now for this one, I really don't want a password. And it's okay if they print, I suppose. So we'll uncheck that. I really like the bulleted list, so we're going to change it back to that. And that's good. Let's save our changes. Preview it one more time. No more password. Products look good. Okay. Now, when you're all set, let's open up our PDF again. When you're all set and you're happy with it, you can come down here. Now I'm using Chrome for this, but you can come down here and click on the Save button. And that will let you download it locally. And you can choose to email it, or print it for a class, or do whatever you want with it. You can also attach it to a showcase. So if we were to come up here and let's go to weekly deals. You'll see this new option to the left right under layout. By default, it says default supply list. What that means is when a visitor comes down here and clicks on this supply list button, they'll get the supply list that they've always seen before. It's just the products tiled out. But with this new feature, we can click on this drop down, and under your supply list, you'll see the ones that you've created. Now in our case, let's add the A Little Something bundle. So now if we click on that, and then we're to come down here to the supply list link and click, we can see that it links to the supply list that we just created. Keep in mind that when you link a showcase to a supply list, that this link will always point to that. So if you were to go back and change it, say you found a spelling mistake and you went back and updated your supply list, you would not have to recopy this showcase code. This link would point to your new updated document. However, keep in mind that if you were to delete this supply list, that link would no longer point to anything as you have deleted it. Now if we come back up here and go to Supply List Builder, say we found a change. So we can come back here and show last edited, because we know the one that we want to update was the one that we last edited. So we can click on that and we can see our A Little Something bundle. So we can make changes. However, say that the one you want to edit isn't the last one that you made changes to. This little gear button has a few options. We can create a new supply list, delete this current one, or view a list of all of the supply lists that we've ever created. So if we click on that, it will bring us to our profile page to the supply list section. This will show up a list of all the supply lists that you've ever created. In our case, this was our first one. By clicking on the little gear icon, we can download the PDF, edit it, or delete it. You can also get to this page by clicking on your email address in the upper right corner. This will bring you to the main page of your profile. You would come over to the left, choose supply list, and you're back at this page. So if we wanted to edit this one, we would click the gear icon and choose edit. And as you can see, it loads our A Little Something bundle. That's about all of the features that I have to show you today. I really hope you enjoy it.